Welcome back again, guys, from Tampa Bay. Today I'm reviewing the 2015 Kawasaki Ninja 300. This is their not only entry-level bike, but really the quintessential entry-level sport bike. Very popular. This is direct competition to the new Yamaha R3. This was out first, and this has a lot more time for refinements. Their previous generation was a runaway hit. This has been out a year now. So I'm a big guy. I am not the typical consumer target for this particular bike, but I'm going to give you my impressions of it. I'll let you know how it's working and compare it to the R3. This is a little 300cc parallel twin. Okay, right away, riding position, a lot more cramped than the R3. My legs are really tucked in. These pegs are extremely high. They are full back, just like a sport bike, where the R3 kind of looks like a sport bike, but it's set up like a normal naked bike. This is a small sport bike. Handlebars are not quite as low on the forks, however, pulling out, I have the same feeling as I did on the R3. I feel like a circus bear on a little tiny bike. I am so overbearing on this, it's not even funny. Okay, like I was saying, the handlebars, they're not true clip-ons. They're on top of the forks, but because the forks themselves are so low, they have the position of being clip-ons. So you do have a true sport bike riding stance on this. This is a lean forward. However, it's quite comfortable for me. I have very long arms, and that puts my back in a much more upright stance than a shorter rider would have. So I'm not crouched over. I have no hope in hell of leaning on this tank. I have a foot between my chest and the tank. Very smooth engine. You can actually barely hear it at low RPMs. I'm trying to decide if it's the intake or exhaust I'm hearing. I think it's the exhaust. Red line on this is 13,000 RPM. We've got a decent sized sweep tack. Not too much glare. Easy enough to read. Down below that we have, like most other Kawasaki's, a digital speedometer, clock, fuel gauge, trip odometer, and that is it. Very basic bike. No fancy extras on this guy. You got your turn signals, you got your basic controls, and that's all she wrote. This is wide open in second. So, not a powerhouse, but not supposed to be. Going to top gear here. 5,000 RPM at 45 miles an hour. So you got some room left. No problem going on the freeway. It's not like a little scooter or anything like that. Fifth, fourth, third, second. Smooth transmission. Decent roll-on power. Come on, dude, roll up. Let's find neutral. Find the pegs first, they're so high up. Easy enough to find, no problems there. Clutch is very light. Cable clutch, tiny, tiny little springs. Look at this. I can squeeze the clutch with my pinky. No effort there. Brakes feel decent. They're not like right now brakes, but they're not spongy at all. Standing up on it, it's not a short bike. I've got maybe 2 inches under my butt when I stand up. It doesn't compress much, surprisingly. It is not a super soft suspension. When I sit on the bike, it goes down maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches, if that. A lot more low-end torque right off idle than the Yamaha. I have no problem just going normally, letting off the clutch. It doesn't stall, it doesn't even want to stall, it just picks right up. So whatever difference is there, maybe it's flywheel, maybe it's just power at that RPM, crank inertia, clutch plates themselves. This one, no problem. Great for any kind of beginner bike. Let's go down a few gears, see how smooth this engine wants to go. It's got a good sound to it. Not a whole lot of power in the upper RPMs. I would have to say the mid-range of this feels a little bit better. It's gone out to 6,000 RPM. Speed-wise, it pulls better in the mid-range, just a little bit. I mean, it's not day and night, but it's noticeable. Just feels like it wants to wind out in the very upper RPMs. So maybe that's good enough for the track or canyon carving, just normal day-to-day stuff. I would have to say, if you're just cruising around, short shift it a little bit, have a little bit more fun, keep those RPMs in the mid-range band. It wants to pull a little bit more naturally. I mean, neither one is real strong. The feel of the bike is wonderful. It feels tight, great steering geometry. Obviously, it's a light bike, and it feels that way. This thing has no shimmy, shake, vibration, anything. It just feels like I'm riding a little tiny Aero. Excellent fit and finish. It is, I have to say, leaps and bounds better in that regard than the Yamaha for the same price. Suspension is great. It's working beautifully. It's soaking up every little bump. I haven't felt a thing. Just going through these few little corners feels absolutely natural. I love the fairings on it because it is a true sport bike make. Flows very well. The windscreen's working. I've got a little bit of a wind hitting me about mid-helmet. That's about it. Now in Florida here, I do wish it wasn't there and I could have some hitting my chest. I'm already getting pretty warm, but that's just the way the bike is. Got a nice little kick when you shift up. Definitely has a nice, very bottom end torque pull. Very good for the street. This is made for real world riding. Transmission is extremely tight. Just a little snick, snick, snick. Great shifter feel. I'm not a fan of the position, but that's just me because I have such long legs. I'm 6'2", 250 pounds. Like I said, big guy, not the target audience for this bike, so that's not a negative thing. If I had shorter legs, man, these would be awesome. The seat is very firm, but it's actually really comfortable. The position is good. It's not sloped. It's got a big step in the back. However, the very back of the seat is sloped way up. And I slide forward a little bit to my natural position in the seat. And I've got a couple inches until I hit that back. So I'm actually not using it. It doesn't do me any good. This does have rear pegs and it does have a rear seat. But man, you've got to be two really small people to not only fit on this thing, but not overload the suspension. Personally, I don't know why they make these little small bikes with two seats. Personally, I would save the weight, make a slicker looking design, make something cooler back there and take off the rear pegs. Very neutral steering. I'm hitting these manholes and it's soaking them right up. But yet it's stiff. Very little nosedive. My legs go right into natural little divots in the tank. Great positioning. It's actually really comfortable just to cruise around. I'm sure on a longer ride my legs would get a little cramped just because I'm taller from bending them so much, but where they lay, it's really nice. I can't get over the difference between this and the R3. It's the time and experience that Kawasaki has had with this project really shows. Now you would think a company like Yamaha would get it more right the first time, but man, do yourself a favor. If you're interested in either one of these, ride both, see for yourself. So easy to pull away on this, I can't get over it. Feels like a much bigger engine. This is wide open. There's no buzz, there's no vibration. I can feel the engine, you know, just its normal operating movement, but there's no high frequency coming through the bars, nothing through the pegs. Great low speed stability. Sorry about all these lights. Every manufacturer here is doing their own routes. I have to say this is the worst one I've ever seen. Light after light after light. Oh, come on, dude, are you serious? Don't cut people off in the middle of a group ride. Yeah, but they really have to get a different route. Okay, I'm wide open. I can't even keep up with the Vulcan S there. And I know he wasn't wide open because that's got a lot more power than he's doing. Let's go up into top gear, just cruise here. 7,000 RPM, just above 60. Just to give you an idea. Now I'm getting a little tiny buzz through the bars. Way up here at 7,000. So I imagine on a freeway that would get a little tiring. But for around town, for maybe some mountain roads, if you're lucky enough to live by those, man, this thing would be a blast. So there's a full throttle run. You have to go into third to hit 60. Very smooth though. There's definitely some buzz anywhere above 7,000 RPM. It's starting to smooth out now at 9.5. Coming back in now. So it's got a natural vibration to be expected. It's a small, high revving dual cylinder engine. Mirrors are actually pretty good. They're far enough forward where I've got a real good view. I've got about a third of it blocked by my elbow, my forearm. Other than that, it's road. They're small, but they have good coverage, and they are crystal clear. Absolutely no vibration, so no complaints there. Brakes have a little bit of a pulsation in them. That could be very well due to the front rotor being a little warped. You know, this is a demo bike, so it's been put through the ringer, and here we are at the end of 2015, so this probably has its entire life on demo rides and people jamming on the brake and heating it up, cooling it off. So I'm not going to fault the bike for that. However, don't expect sport bike, proper sport bike, I can talk, proper sport bike type brakes. Say that 5 times fast. They get the job done, but they're not right now stopping power. Go, baby, go. So as long as you can keep this thing revving, have some fun, keep moving, I like it. Very good fit and finish. They did a great job on this, but then again, they've been at it for a long time making these little beginner ninjas, and it shows. Great dashboard. I see nothing about this that stands out as a problem, as anything I would have to change right away, as anything that isn't what I would expect. For $5,000, this is a bargain. If you're looking for this kind of bike, a first-time bike, if you're a smaller rider. If you're my size, obviously look elsewhere, look for a bigger frame. But I can't fault this bike at all for what it is. I'm really impressed. Very good job, Kawasaki. So there you go. We're about to find our way back to the parking lot. This has been the 2015 Kawasaki Ninja 300. I'm Brian Glenn with TwoWheelObsession.com. Don't forget to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time.